Good morning, everyone. This is a great day. We have people from every corner of the globe at this summit, but the world-renowned hospitality of our Brazilian hosts makes us all feel like Paulistas today. And who knows, maybe we'll all be doing the samba before the week is up. Of course, we'll all want to come back for the World Cup 3 years from now. My term in office will be up. I'll have lots of time on my hands, and perhaps I'll stay for the whole tournament. Will Brazil do very well in the World Cup? Yes, guaranteed. Host city always does well. Seriously, this is one of the world's great cities, and São Paulo's story, in many respects, is similar to the story of my city, New York. Both our cities began as small colonial outposts in the New World, and just like São Paulo, New York has, over the centuries, been a magnet for immigrants from the world over. Today, both São Paulo and New York are known as the city that never sleeps. And with all the work that we have ahead of us, by the end of the week, I think many of you may feel that that is true. But the interesting thing that binds São Paulo and New York together most is that the neighborhood that this hotel is in is even called New Brooklyn. Makes me feel right at home. I just can't find the bagel shop. But for all the similarities, there are also significant differences between our cities. It took long centuries for New York to emerge as the great metropolis that has become today. Sao Paulo's growth, on the other hand, has been far more explosive. Only 100 years ago, this city, now home to more than 11 million people, had a population of fewer than 1 million. And we all sense that history is, in fact, speeding up. And that was once a slow process of social evolution, is giving way to rapid revolutions in almost every area of human life. And nowhere is that more true than in Sao Paulo and in other cities around the world, cities where, because of their intensive growth, more than half the people on the earth now live. Just consider this. As recently as 1950, only one of the world's metropolitan areas, that of my own New York, had a population of more than 10 million people. Today, there are 26 such megacities, 14 of them in Asia. And by the year 2025, there will be 17 cities with populations of 10 million or more in India and China alone. And this extraordinary urbanization in Asia and in developing nations elsewhere is a dynamic, dramatic upheaval, one with profound implications for the environment we inhabit now, and one that we will pass on to our children. The intense burning of fossil fuels in the world's cities, where 70% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions are produced, not only contributes to climate change, it also clogs the streets, pollutes the air, and shortens the lives of their millions of residents. Now, how we as mayors respond to these challenges will strongly determine the fate of the entire world now and for decades to come. And that brings us to the essential purpose of this biannual summit. Because of our shared experiences in leading the world's great cities, and because now more than ever before, we grasp the urgency of the challenges that we face, no one can do more to produce good outcomes for the world than we, the mayors of the great cities, can. History now summons us to that duty, and we must answer the call. The sense of great responsibility and also of immense possibility must guide our work here in Sao Paulo. In our own home cities, we have clearly risen to the challenge. Each of us has already taken forceful and far-sighted actions to make our cities healthier, less congested, more energy efficient, and more environmentally responsible. Our citizens are already reaping the benefits of cleaner air, lower energy costs, and longer and healthier lives. But the pace of urbanization is accelerating dramatically all around the planet, and our response must become as rapid and as global. We can and we must work together, more closely and more productively. In the process, we will, I am confident, makes C40 the world's leading, most indispensable climate change organization. C40 is already widely recognized for its effectiveness, and that's a tribute to the achievement of its member cities, to the skill and hard work of its dedicated staff, and to the vision of a man who has played such a major part in C40's emergence and whom we'll hear from later this morning, former United States President Bill Clinton. For more than 5 years, C40 has benefited tremendously from a close working partnership with a major project of the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Climate Initiative. Now, we've deepened and strengthened that partnership. Today, CCI and C40 are integrated under a central, unified management that reports to the C40 Steering Committee. This is the logical next step in carrying out the critical mission that CCI and C40 share, and it's going to give C40 a greater organizational capacity to meet the challenges that we face. These challenges are expanding in scope and increasing in urgency. And that's why, since last year, when the steering committee named us the chair of C40, we've engaged in wide-ranging conversations with member cities about the organization's future. The overarching message that we've heard is that we must approach our work more rigorously and more cooperatively than ever before. That message is the basis of the 2-year organizational strategy approved by the C40 Steering Committee that we presented at our meeting in Hong Kong last November. Its principal points are strengthening C40's organizational capacity and ability to work with other international organizations, recognizing its programs into networks of cities or reorganizing them that way, ensuring that the city directors are fully supported by the integrated work into the work of C40, making C40 more visible and as an effective leader in urban sustainability, and broadening C40's membership to better reflect not only the world's great cities today, but will be the great cities of tomorrow. How we've set that strategy in motion and the immediate benefits that will result from new and tremendously significant partnerships with other great world organizations that we're about to announce. That's the focus of our plenary session today. So let me summarize where we're headed now. Our strategy for the future begins with gaining a better understanding of where, in fact, we stand today. In public health, that's called establishing baseline data. It's a practice well worth employing in our work, too, because many academic studies have ranked the world's cities on the size of our carbon footprints. None has made a systematic assessment of what we're doing or can do to go to green. None, that is, until now. At our request over the past several months, the global independent consulting firm Arup has worked with C40 cities on just such a comprehensive review. It was a process that began by asking cities, what have you done concerning climate change in the last 5 years since C40 was found? What are you doing right now? And very importantly, what governmental powers do you have in key areas that impact climate in cities? Yesterday, we published the results in our Climate Action in Megacities report. 2 essential lessons leap off the pages of this first ever study. First, we've already done an outstanding, astonishing amount. We found that C40 cities have implemented more than 4,700 policies and procedures relating to climate change, and another 1,500 or so that are being implemented as we speak. Some actions are quite comprehensive. Many others are seemingly more modest, although as mayors, we all recognize that large victories almost always result from many small steps. They all demonstrate, I think, the powerful impact C40 has already had. Second, we also found that there's a great deal more that we can do, particularly where, as mayors, we exercise the broadest powers. In transportation, solid waste management, and in our authority over the public and private buildings in our cities. What, in fact, this study gives us is a systematic way of thinking about where and how our cooperative efforts can do the most good. In Hong Kong, we said that precisely such strategic collaborations would be the top priority over the next 2 years. And now we've got a guidebook for making them happen. At the same time, we need to apply new levels of rigor and uniformity to gauging how cities produce or limit greenhouse gas emissions. You know, because I had a prolonged previous career in business, people often ask me to describe the difference between management and the public and private sectors. And I tell them, in the private sector, we're more rigorous in actually measuring on a common basis what we do. In government, too many people, too many locations have separate standards. But in fact, both government and businesses do one thing in common. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. And until now, neither the C40 cities nor anyone else has applied a standard metric to how cities produce greenhouse gases or how we mitigate their effects. We need better management in order to do better management, and that we need better measurement to do better management, and that's what we sought from the Carbon Disclosure Project, a nonprofit organization that's a global leader in public and private sector climate change reporting. Their findings, the result of extensive work with C40 cities, which we have also released today, will not only show the high level of seriousness which our cities treat climate change, but also, for the first time, it systematically sets out how we measure our carbon footprints and how we're working to reduce them.